Welcome, everybody, to That Tracks, the podcast where we track tractor sales all throughout the southern United States. It's been a banner week for John Deere. Nick, tell us a little bit more about how the sales have been doing.
I honestly have no idea, but I do feel like that I wonder when you see like a spike in tractor sales dependent on like harvest season. And obviously harvesting is different for different regions based on what they're actually harvesting. Like I'd imagine here in Central Florida, especially like in the Plant City area, like tractor sales go up when they're ready to harvest the strawberries, which is like in February.
Right? I don't know. It's a great
Fascinating.
question. Wouldn't
Yeah.
you imagine that, like, you would just have your tractor already?
Well, yeah, for the most part, but I bet like I wonder if they get through the season and they're like, we really need to invest into a new tractor. And so then they buy a new one. So maybe it's after the harvest is over.
Yeah, maybe.
Farmers, chime in, chime in, chime in. Let us know.
Farmers chime in. Let us know what's going on.
Sound
We are
off.
on Zoom, by the
Yeah.
way. It's
So let's,
also 10 o'clock at night.
yeah, you guys are hearing this. Um, if you're listening to this on Monday, this like is only a few hours ago from when we
Right?
recorded this. So, um, yeah, let's just get into that.
Also,
Oh,
because it's you, there's not any sort of like fun background.
what?
You're recording it, so there's no like we're not in a coffee shop.
You're saying I'm not fun?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying your backgrounds are not fun. Your
Rude.
background's fun. My background's not very fun.
I think both of our backgrounds are fun.
I don't know.
I do want to say we're recording this on Zoom. We had plans this week to obviously record together, but this week kind of took some turns, and we'll just kind of like get into that. So, um, we just first want to start by saying that like we are sending all of our thoughts and our hearts out to those that were affected by the hurricane this week. I'm really bad at pronouncing the name of this hurricane. Hurricane
Helene.
Helene. Okay. Hurricane Helene made landfall on, I think it was Thursday evening.
Yeah.
Late Thursday night. It made landfall in the state of Florida, but really just created an event that like went through Georgia and North Carolina, and people like all over the southeastern United States have really been affected by this storm. I know that there's so many people that have literally lost everything, and our hearts go out to you. Um, Hurricanes are, I was thinking about it a lot this week, and like Floridians joke around a lot about hurricanes. Like when they come
Right.
through, like you see all the memes and stuff like that. Um, and a lot of times hurricanes are not like they create a wind event and a rain event that typically doesn't do much to people here, which is why those jokes
In
start to
Central
surface.
Florida.
Exactly. But for someone who like Francie's family personally was really affected by Hurricane Michael back in 2018. They essentially lost their home to the hurricane. So to someone who has like is close with people who have personally been affected by a major hurricane, it's not a joke. They're serious. This thing was absolutely awful. It was a really bad storm. Lives have been lost because of this hurricane, and it's tragic. And so Tim and I talked about it. We're going to donate a portion of the proceeds of this episode to the relief efforts, and to those who've been affected by this storm. So, our hearts go out to you if you're listening to this and you live in an area that's been affected by the storm. Just know that, like, we're so sorry. I wish there was more that we could do, but I hope that you're feeling supported and you're feeling some sense of like community. I know that one of the things that happened when Hurricane Michael went through up in the Panhandle and a lot of people lost everything. One of the things that like a lot of the people experienced was just really a sense of community coming together to help one another out. And it's sad because we don't get that often. We live such busy lives all across the United States, and we're always kind of like in our own little worlds. But when something tragic happens and it forces everyone to kind of stop. Um, I just remember that like everyone talked about how much like neighbors were helping neighbors. And I hope that like if there's anything that you can experience that is some sense of light in this dark time in your life, that you have people that are supporting you and rallying behind you, and know that even though we're not there physically, we're doing the best we can to try to send that love to you from a distance. So anyways, I know that that's a more serious way to start a podcast, but this is a very serious thing that happened to a lot of people, and a lot of people that live close to us. I mean, I've been seeing a lot of the coverage even out of the state of Florida, and people on the West Coast on the state of Florida, the storm surge, which is absolutely awful. So
Yeah, we were looking at videos from Anna Maria, one of our favorite vacation spots, and the whole island was underwater
yeah,
during
yeah,
the storm. And
it's
so the
sad.
whole island is like covered with sand now.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
interesting to see.
No, it's bizarre. I mean, it's eerily reminds me of what the coverage that we watched happen in 2018. And obviously, like, this is a place that's super special and important to both Francie and I. It's where Francie's from, up in the Panhandle near Panama City. It's in a town called Port St. Joe. But um, yeah, it's tragic, and seeing the coverage from North Carolina is just absolutely devastating. Like, I my heart breaks for the people that have literally lost everything. And losing possessions is absolutely awful, but it's hard sometimes too, because some of those possessions are so meaningful to people. Like, I know that when my in-laws house went through the hurricane, and they lost everything, a lot of the stuff that they lost was like, they live in a beach house, so it's up on stilts, but there's like a room on the, like, the ground level, and that room got completely flooded, and all of their like family Christmas decorations were in that room. And
Oh
so,
man.
like, losing things like a couch, or like certain things that can be replaced, is hard. But then losing things that are like irreplaceable, and obviously we're talking about material possessions, and there's even worse things that obviously people lose through these storms. But I remember, like, we lost, uh Francie's grandma had made, like, every member of the family their own stocking for Christmas, and she's passed away. And I remember, like, when I got my first stocking, I was like, oh yeah, like, I'm a part of the fam. I have my own stocking from grandma now, and it's sad, but those stockings were in a container that was in the room that got flooded, and they all got absolutely destroyed. And so it's like, you can lose certain things, and certain things are just heartbreaking to lose, for sure. But obviously, like, knowing that people lost their lives through this storm as well is absolutely tragic. So, um, yeah, if hopefully, if you're listening to this and you personally have been affected by it, one of the things that we can try our best to do in this episode is to bring you the typical Nick and Tim random chaos. And so hopefully
Yeah,
it should.
especially at night like this.
You never know what you're gonna get. It's Nick and Tim after dark. But we hope that we can bring a smile to your face through this episode. So
Yeah.
we're sending all of our love. So anyways, we will then transition into the week. It's interesting, like, it's similar to last week, where we're in this season of theme parks, where there's not a ton of theme park news coming at us week to week.
Right.
It's been sort of a lull. There's no major announcements, and it's because the theme parks are so busy in essentially the holiday season. Like, I know that the holidays have not started, but once Halloween kicks off, it's pretty much go time until January in the theme
Right.
park
Yeah.
world. Because we go through all of the spooky activities and everything that is Halloween straight into the holidays. And we've got all kinds of, like, Festival of the Holidays, Christmas, like, all kinds of stuff happening at the beginning of November. And it's wild.
Jollywood nights.
Yeah, exactly. It's wild to me that we are literally starting October this week. Like, where did September go?
Oh, I don't know.
I feel
Out
like
the
it was
window.
literally, I feel like it was just yesterday, and we were in California for D23. So I'm not quite sure, like, what is happening and where time is going. I feel like it was just yesterday, and we were all sitting in a cabin on the 4th of July having hot dogs together. So
Right? Oh.
time is flying by. But
Well, let's take a pause.
and we're back. Sorry about
We did
that.
it.
One of the things about recording at night as fathers is sometimes the children wake up. So
Right.
but anyways, yeah, so the theme park space is pretty quiet right now. There's not a lot of like breaking news that has happened this week. Um, we both have had some fun experiences, and I'm looking to hear more about one particular experience that you had this week. I'm excited to hear more about that. But it was a busy week. Um, and a lot of my experiences happened before the hurricane came through because once the hurricane was like on its way, everything kind of like slowed down a bit for us. We live further we live further west than Tim and Jen do. So like this storm did not really affect much of Orlando at all. You guys probably had like a couple of bands come through or something.
Yeah, we had a few bands on Thursday evening that were the wind really picked up on Thursday evening, but other than that, it was nothing.
Yeah. And it's wild how like we don't live that far away from each other, but it's a little bit of a hike. And because we live further west, our weather was it was not terrible, but the winds picked up for sure. I had some shingles that were flapping on the top of the roof, and I was like, "Come on, guys, hold on tight. Like, don't go flying off." Some of our neighbors did lose some shingles as well, but nothing super serious, nothing bad here. We did have a tornado warning at one point, which is a little freaky. It's always kind of a weird feeling trying to navigate, like, okay, like at what point do we say it's time to like, hunker down and stuff?
Right.
But all in all for us everything was fine. Like we did okay, and we are pretty much directly in the center of the state, and sometimes that helps when these storms kind of go up the coast the way that they do in terms of like what we experience with the storm. So
Yeah, we
but it
didn't have anything at our house. Like it rained and it got windy, but it wasn't like overly windy.
yeah,
And I think the power went out for like a second. I
we
got a
don't
text that was like, "Your power is out." And I was like, "Oh, okay."
you never experienced it. We
Well,
don't
we have a battery backup on the house too, so it's like,
oh, it does fine. Yeah.
yeah,
We don't ever like knock on wood, but we don't generally lose power that often at our house. Um, a lot of our power lines are all underground, so that helps a lot for sure.
yeah,
But another major thing is like we're on the same grid as like a as a in an area that like needs to be operational, and so that helps in terms of like how our power stays going. So um but I've definitely been in situations and circumstances where a tornado has taken out, or not a tornado, but a hurricane has taken out the power for a long period of time, and that is miserable in the state of Florida, let me tell you. And that's
yeah,
another thing. Florida has been so hot. Like
yeah.
I am done. I am over it. We went to the Bucks game today, and the feels like was 104.
That's good times right there.
No, it was awful.
I know. It's
The
winter.
game no, yeah, literally like this week is October and we're still dealing with feels like in the 100s. I am
Yeah.
done with it. I am over it. I need some like real fall weather in my life as soon as possible. So
10 o'clock at night right now. Feels like is 83.
my
Lovely.
my brother and sister-in-law were visiting uh, a couple weeks ago now, and while they were here, we went to a football game together at night, and they like walked into the stadium, and they were like, "Why are we sweating so much? Like it's already dark." And I was like, "Do you not remember Florida? Like it doesn't mean anything when it gets dark around
That's what
here."
it's like out here.
It doesn't change. But that has not been pleasant. I'm kind of over that. I did go to the parks for work on Tuesday. We'll get into this in a little bit, but I covered stuff for like Hispanic and Latin Heritage, American Heritage Month. And I couldn't be out for very long because I was just over it. Like the heat just wears you down. Like it
Yeah.
absolutely drains you and exhausts you. And so I'm hoping for some cooler temperatures. Usually in the beginning of October is when we start to see like our first. I'm gonna put cold front in like air quotes because like cold front here in Florida is nothing like what they experience up north. But we see a little bit of relief usually into the mid late October. But
Ah, man, I hope so.
sometimes on Halloween, I remember we've walked around and just been like sweating like crazy. So
Yeah.
mosquitoes and sweat. That is what Halloween looks like in the state of Florida. So
Right. And stinks, but well, it's like funny because down here we've got the costumes and you have to wear like light clothes underneath
right.
the costumes. But then up north, like they get their costumes on and they got to cover them up with jackets.
Yeah, I know. It's like you just need to be in the middle, so it's like you can actually just wear your costume.
right?
My parents have had snow on Halloween before, so that's wild to
Jeez
think about.
Louise.
Yeah.
That is
Um,
wild.
do you have your costumes already picked out? I know you're probably not going to reveal them just yet, but
Yeah, we got him.
oh, that's
I
exciting.
haven't even showed Jackson and Oliver my costume.
Oh, I want to see it.
I'm excited. I'm going to show it to them like as a surprise.
Oh, that's fun. I want to hear about
Yeah,
this, but we can't reveal those secrets just yet on the podcast. So,
right?
um, we have our costumes as well, and let me tell you, I think I sent you a
Yeah, you
video.
did.
Yeah, we're not. We'll be revealing those. They might be revealed as early as this week, so stay tuned on my social media. But it's pretty good. It's pretty funny.
Excellent.
Luke's in particular is pretty hilarious. But yeah, we're excited. Halloween is going to be so strange this year because I know we've talked about this, but it's the first day of the expo for Wine and Dine, and so there's going to be a lot of Nick running to Orlando to pick up bibs, check into hotels, come back to Lakeland, trick or treat with the fam, and then go back and get ready to race. So it's going to
Jeez
be
Louise.
an
So wait,
interesting,
is the race at the day after Halloween?
yeah, November 1st.
So you're going to be trick or treating at night, and then you go and you run what? A 5K?
Yeah, it's only a 5K.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
I
That's
say
not so
that.
bad.
Yeah, I say that. I don't ever mean to sound insensitive saying it's only 5K because I know that a lot of people like train for a long time to be able to run a 5K, and that's freaking awesome. Like, kudos to the people that are able to do that. I think that's amazing. And if that's like a massive accomplishment for you, then like seriously, in all seriousness, like good job, proud of you. For me, like I've run 48 miles in 4 days. So 3 miles it's something that like is a regular part of my training. So I should be able to handle that pretty well. But yeah, so when we say it's just 5K, yes, it's just 3 miles because then the next day is 6.2 and then the next day is 13.1. So
Right.
I need to get into gear with my training because I have slacked off significantly. So
You haven't been doing training?
I've done some, not enough.
Oh, geez.
So I'm hoping to really like propel myself into that soon. But anyway, um, so yeah, so what else happened for you this week?
Oh, man. I saw Wild Robot.
Oh yeah, I've heard such good things about it.
It was very good.
I had
Nick, you will
FOMO.
cry.
Yeah, I've heard that. Actually, my friend texts me. We have a friend who he works for a company called Rock'em Socks, and if you've never heard of Rock'em Socks before,
Oh, yeah.
they're phenomenal. You should go check them out. But our friend Connor, you know Connor as well.
He was sitting
Um,
next to me.
was he?
Yeah.
Okay, well he texted me after, and Connor told me that like I'm not emotionally prepared for this movie. He said he wasn't emotionally prepared for the
Yeah,
movie.
no, there was a kid behind us that was just like sobbing.
I'm also like, so you went probably with our friend and
Yeah.
Connor, and then Connor was there. The FOMO that I feel knowing that like you guys watched this movie without me, geez, jerks, where's the invite?
There's a limited number of invites. I'm not in charge of that.
I want to be a part of that. Anyways, no, I feel like it's going to be a fun family movie. Like I want to go with the boys and
Yeah.
Francie, obviously. Yeah.
Yeah. The first half of the movie I kind of hated the robot. Not the first half, maybe like the first little bit, but then it turned around. She did a really good job of being a good person, being a good robot.
I'm excited. I want to go see it. Connor told me that he liked it better than Inside Out 2.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
Wow. That
Yeah.
that's hard because Inside Out 2 is maybe probably not my favorite animated movie of all time, but it's up there.
Yeah. It was
But
good. I liked Inside Out too, but this one was definitely had more, it's hard to say, but like had more heart to it,
wow.
which is weird because like well, it's a movie about emotions.
Yeah. No, I get it. It pulls on your heartstrings more.
Yeah, and I think that the Inside Out 2 pulled on your heartstrings in the fashion of like everybody went through their teenage years, right?
Yeah, I but the thing for me with Inside Out 2, and this is just because I struggle with anxiety, but it's something that I related to currently.
Right, and you will relate currently to
Yeah,
the
Wild
Wild
Robot.
Robot.
Yeah. No, but that's what absolutely. Yeah, because I heard like parenting is a major theme in The
Yeah,
Wild Robot. Yeah. But with Inside Out 2, it's the theming of anxiety and like anxiety pushing joy out and joy trying to get back to Riley. All of that is like me watching that, I'm like, this is my life. So, I am
right.
Riley. Yeah. But we watch Inside Out 2 is now on Disney Plus in case you guys did not know that, but we watched it this week. We had a hurricane day on Thursday. School was closed and canceled, and so I still had to work. And so the boys, well, I put on Inside Out 2 for them to be able to like stay occupied with something, and they did. They like sometimes a movie will put on and they're like watching it, but they're also like playing and doing other things. This one, they both actually sat down and were like, "Yeah, I'm gonna watch this right now." So, but I
Jackson
want to go.
loved the whole thing too, so
Yeah, he liked it, right?
yeah,
Yeah. I do say I do want to. I feel like Inside Out, the first one, is more geared towards children, obviously, because Riley is younger than the
right.
second one is. You got characters like Bing Bong and stuff like that. The second one has like, I don't know, they really did a good job with like pulling on nostalgia though as well, because you have characters that like are things that we recognize, like a video game character, and I don't remember his name, but he has like the pouch, and it was very
Yeah,
similar to like Dora the Explorer with like the backpack and
right.
stuff like that. So, but anyway, Wild Robot, it was good. You had a good time.
Yeah.
I want to go see it. It's on my list. I want to try to go this weekend. So fingers crossed. Um, yeah. So we, oh, you did something else at Disney Springs, and I want to hear more about
No, no.
it.
Well, also we took my dad to Disney.
Oh yeah, that's huge.
Yeah, it was a good time. It was his first time at Disney in 20 years,
That's amazing.
and we got a VIP tour.
In 20 years, he had not been back at the parks.
Right.
Wow.
I
And
think
he,
ever since he worked for the company.
wow, that's amazing. Did
Yeah.
he love it?
Yeah, he had a good time.
Good.
Yeah, he so the one thing that we wanted to do for him was we wanted to get him on Kali River Rapids because when Animal Kingdom first opened and Kali River Rapids first opened, he would duck out of work on like his lunch break and go and ride it. Just Kali River Rapids over and over again,
I
which is
love it.
weird because it's like a water ride.
Yeah. I love that
But
though.
yeah, he was just like in his, you
Did it
know,
like create a sense of nostalgia for him to be able to ride that again then?
yeah, he really
Yeah.
liked it.
And I bet being able to ride, because did Jackson get to ride?
Yeah,
Was that Jackson's first time riding it?
yeah,
Did he like
and
it?
we rode it twice in a row.
Oh, I love that. And I bet for him to be able to get to ride that with Jackson as well was like really cool, like experience.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
cool. That's cool. I
it was,
watched your coverage on your Instagram stories from that day,
yeah,
and I just feel like you had such a sense of like, I don't know, it was really cool. And I've seen this before just with you like interacting with your dad in person, but like it like brings out more of like the little kid in Tim when you get to like be at the parks with your dad. It's like
yeah.
yeah, it's like a really cool like, I don't know how to describe it in words, but it's just like this vibe that you get that's it's fun to watch.
It was also like a funny full circle moment too because my dad's blind now. Um, so he can't see out of one eye, and then the other eye he has macular degeneration. So he can, if you cover over the center of your eye and you only use your peripheral vision, but
Yeah,
not like look to the side,
right,
just your peripheral vision.
right,
That's what he can see out of one eye. And he has a hard time going from daylight outside to inside.
right.
And so it was interesting because when I was younger, he was leading me around the parks, and now
Yeah, you're
I'm leading
leading
him
him.
around the parks.
Yeah. No, I had a similar experience, obviously not like in terms of leading my dad because he has like vision impairment, but my dad, they haven't been to Disney in a very long time, and they came in July, and just like showing them some of the ins and outs of things, it was cool. It's like you get to like for so many years it was our parents catering to us at Walt Disney World, and so the idea that we get to like show them a good time, it's like a full circle moment for sure. So
Yeah, it was fun.
yeah,
I
I
liked
love
it a
that.
lot.
That's good. I'm glad you guys had a good time
It
together.
was funny though because like we got this VIP guide and then we like rode the people mover And like,
The VIP guide's like, this is not the normal
yeah,
experience that people
we
are
like rode the
asking.
People Mover and we watched Carousel of Progress. And like, my dad was funny because he was like yelling at the people. He wasn't yelling, but like when they're like, we got this new ice box. He's like, oh yeah, an ice box. It was like very loudly. I was like, oh man. And then the guy on Carousel of Progress is like, we've got this new dishwasher, and he's like, nobody could afford a dishwasher. I was like, this is great.
So, well, we know where Tim gets it from.
Yeah,
I love that. That's awesome. No, it brought me a lot of joy watching your stories, and I haven't. Is the vlog out for that yet?
just came out tonight.
Oh, okay, sweet. I need to go check it out and watch it.
And then he also like we took him on Flight of Passage, and he's like, that was a silly ride. Why would anybody like that? And I was like, well, I think it's a lot of the visual. He's like, oh yeah, I couldn't see anything.
Oh yeah,
I was like, okay, well there you go.
yeah, that feels like without the visual for that, he's like, why are we just moving around here?
Yeah, he's like, why is this motorcycle jumping up and down?
Why is something breathing between my legs right now? I don't
Right?
understand. My brother and nephew rode Flight of Passage for the first time while they were down, and my brother really enjoyed it. But he was like, and it's kind of true. He's like, it to me, some of the graphics felt a little bit older, and I was like, yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. Like that ride did come. When did that ride open? Like 2017?
I don't know. I
Okay.
haven't. I can look it up,
Well,
but
it does like I mean, it's amazing. That ride is absolutely incredible, but it does like the graphics themselves do feel a little blurry sometimes while you're riding it. And I feel
yeah,
like we've come a long way since then.
it opened 2017,
Okay. Yeah.
May 27th.
Yeah. And I mean, it's still great. It's such a fantastic attraction, but I don't know. I wonder if like we'll see a day where like they bump up the technology in Flight of Passage.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. Fun
Yeah.
fact, that was the last time I had a drink.
Interesting. When Flight of Passage opened.
Yeah, the opening day of Avatar.
Wow. There you go.
Yes. So
So
there you
you
go.
haven't had a
May
drink
27th,
since
2017.
7 years?
That's a
Very
long
cool.
time.
Yeah, that is a long time. That's awesome. Um, yeah, we they got to experience that and he liked it, but he also he's not a regular Disney goer, and I put this on my Instagram stories, but I asked him like because we rode Everest and then the next day we went to Magic Kingdom and we rode Mine Train, Thunder Mountain, and Space Mountain, and then we rode Tron. And he was like, Mine Train's just like that's the ride. I was like, what do you mean? And I was like, do you like Mine Train more than Everest? And he was like, yeah. I was like, what? I was like,
Why?
he just is
What?
not a fan, I guess. I don't think he wasn't a fan of Everest, but he just likes Mine Train. And I was like, that is
He's
not a
like, that's
common
where it's at.
yeah,
We should
that's
build more of those.
I was like, that is
That's
not a
so
common.
strange.
I know. I was like, that is not a common like opinion in the Disney or theme park universe. But he's so unfamiliar with this world, Like he's a personal trainer. Like that's what he does. He's not in theme park space. And so it was just funny to hear him be like, yeah, I think Mine Train is like better than
Did he
Everest.
think another ride was Mine Train?
No,
Like
no,
maybe
no.
Big Thunder Mountain was Mine Train?
No, he thinks Mine Train's definitely better than Big Thunder Mountain.
Wow. Hmm.
Yeah,
I'm just thinking about going down that first hill,
in
and like
Everest.
if you're not, were you in the back row?
I didn't ride it with him.
Wow. I need to know
Yeah,
what row he was in. If you're
I
in the
don't
front
know.
row going down that first hill and you're like almost at the bottom of the hill before the speed picks up, you're like, "Oh, okay,
Yeah,
here we go."
I don't think he was in the front row, but I almost wonder if he's also like because roller coasters hurt. Everest hurts me. Like when you go backwards,
Right?
I'm like, whew, it's the backwards motion for me. But I almost wonder if he's like, I like Mine Train because it's smooth and
Yeah.
like
Nothing really
nothing.
happens.
Yeah.
Some guys came out and sang at me.
This is fantastic.
Yeah. Got to see
So
Dopey with those like gems on his eyes. It was real fun.
definitely an interesting theme park opinion for sure. But
Right?
I want to take him to Universal and I want him to ride like some of the coasters over there.
Velocicoaster.
Yeah.
If you love Mine Train, you're really gonna love this
This
one.
is just like Mine Train.
Take him on Doctor Doom's Fearfall.
Ugh, I hate that ride. I've only ever done it one time. It was with you. Hate it.
It was with
Well,
me?
I think so. Yeah.
Hmm.
You don't remember? Of course you don't remember.
Nope. This is like a
Yeah.
pivotal moment in Nick's life, and I'm like, Adam.
Yeah, you're like, you could care less.
Was it in the evening time?
No, it was during the day.
Hmm.
I put my phone down in like the cubby and was recording because the cubbies are like on the side of the attraction, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and recorded us like because you spoiler alert in case you haven't ridden it. But instead of going to the top and then falling, you immediately like go up, right?
You launch up. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We rode it together.
That's good. I'm glad we did that.
we
I feel
don't
like I'm starting to remember that now.
we don't go to Universal together a lot. We should
Yeah, we should
change
go to
that.
Horror Nights.
No. I
I've
did
already
see.
used up all of my times going to. I got one more where I can go on my annual pass has a free Horror Nights ticket
Oh
with it,
yeah, yeah.
so I can use that for one more trip out there. But for the most part, I'm done with Horror Nights.
No.
I got Rush of Fear, and that was it. I used it all.
I saw somewhere someone posted that like yes, it's about to be October, so now the wait times are going to go down at Horror Nights. Is that true? Do people see like
No,
a
that's when they go up.
I know that's what I thought too. Maybe it was
Because the
being sarcastic.
maybe yeah, because people are coming like normal,
Right. Yeah.
not you know
Yeah, like
theme park people.
October, like normal yeah, people that are not theme park people celebrate spooky season in October.
Right,
Yeah, not August.
right. Everybody wants to go on Halloween for some reason.
Yeah,
Don't
well,
go on Halloween.
it makes sense.
No, it doesn't.
Why?
Everybody thinks that. It's like going to Disney on Christmas.
Yeah, no.
Like it's just packed.
Yeah, I don't do that. But I mean, it makes sense why people would want like that kind of spook on Halloween. I would not be going on Halloween. Absolutely not.
Mm,
But I wouldn't want to go to like Mickey's Not So Scary on Halloween either. Like,
right?
I like to be home for like the actual holidays for sure. But that's some people's tradition, so
Yeah.
good for them.
And
Um,
then I did the thing that you were interested
yeah,
in.
I want to hear.
I went to Disney Springs and I ate at Boathouse. It was good.
You did
I had
more than
a
that.
we sat in the boat in a Chris Craft. Like they put it. It was a boat that they cut the center out of and put a table in the middle of it.
Did you
That's where
really
we
go to
sat.
Boathouse?
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
but
delicious.
also you did
I had a
something
turkey.
else.
The clubhouse.
Oh,
The
I've never had it, but it looks good.
Yeah, it was good. It was very good. Jen got her tuna that she always gets, and then the actually it was a really funny thing because the our server came over and he's like, "Hey, you guys want this?" And it was a cupcake that said "Happy Birthday" on it, and we're like, "What?" He's like, "I had a birthday at a different table and I went to go get this and they left." Like before I had a chance to drop this off for them, so I have this happy birthday cupcake. That do you guys want it? And we're like, "Yeah, sure."
That's
So
so
we had a
random.
happy birthday moment.
That's awesome.
And it was
Well,
brunch too, so they had the dueling pianos.
that's cool.
We're
But
trying
this
to
is
like
not what I'm
name that
interested.
tune.
I'm not interested in your boathouse experience.
Oh. Before that, we went to the Pleasing Fantasia pop-up.
That's what I want to hear more about. Okay, so I have questions. Pleasing is connected to Harry Styles.
Yeah, it's his brand.
Like, okay, it's his brand.
Right.
He just did a collab with Disney.
Yeah.
Okay, why?
That's
Just
what a lot
because.
of brands do that. Why does
Yeah, but
Columbia do it?
sure, but I've never seen like a pop up like this before.
Yeah, Little Words did it.
Well, like this past weekend,
No, Little Words Project did a pop-up at Disney Springs.
I don't remember that.
Just like this. It was like it was out in front of like over by the Orange Garage.
So will pleasing will go away eventually.
Yeah, but it could be like a test to see. But also this same pop-up is happening at um like four other places. There's one in the Disney store in Times Square is having them.
Yeah.
There's one in London, there's one here at Disney Springs, and there's one other place that I don't
So
remember where it's at.
it's like a not a brand launch because pleasing already existed, but it's the collab launch.
Right,
Got
right.
it.
And
And
they'll be
why
there through like
Fantasia?
October 27th.
That's
I don't know
cool.
why Fantasia. Maybe Harry likes it.
Interesting. Um, the line today, or maybe yesterday, was wild for this pop-up. Like I
Yeah,
saw a picture of people lined up all the way past like so the pop-up is where it's like it's underneath where Disney Quest was, like the underneath where the NBA experience was, right?
It's inside.
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. But not
Yeah,
like
you go.
it's not like the full
No,
building.
it's
It's
not that
just
whole building, but like
right,
it's
right, right.
the doorway. There's like a stand outside with two keyholes, and
Wow.
one's the entrance, one's the exit. You just like go in there, then you're
And,
inside of it.
and this is by the M&M store. What is the
Yeah,
name
it's
of the
like
little bar restaurant that's right there? City Works? No.
yeah, City Works across from House of Blues.
Yeah. So that's where the pop-up is, and the line to get into the pop-up went all the way down past like Cirque du Soleil.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's interesting because they did a on the first day, which was Saturday, they did a virtual queue. So people got in line and then they just made it so that it kind of like snaked in front of the pop-up like three times and then it went
Hmm.
down the side of the building and that was the end of it. The
Is the
rest of the people were
virtual
in a virtual queue.
queue through the My Disney Experience app?
Yeah.
And you just have to be like a certain distance from there? Or do you have to
Yeah.
be okay?
Oh, no, no, it's the same virtual queue that like Gideon's uses. You do your phone number.
Oh, so you need to go there.
Yeah.
What time does that start? Like 10 or 11 or something? 10?
Yeah, well, it depends on how long the line is. So they on opening day, they let people in at 9, like not into the store, but into Disney Springs to go and queue up at 9,
Mm.
and it didn't open until 10. So people were waiting for an hour, and then once the line got so long, then they did the virtual queue where you would give your phone number and then
I want to try to go because they have this Fantasia collection. A lot of the pieces are not like my vibe, not my style necessarily, but they look cool. They look really nice. Everything in there is very expensive.
right. It's the same as like Coach. That's
Yeah.
what I compare it to because the stuff in the Coach store is about the same price, same quality.
Yeah, the sweatshirt, which is what I want. There's a yellow sweatshirt with like a vintage looking Fantasia graphic on the front.
There's
And
also a
I
pair of matching sweatpants that goes with that.
Yeah, which those look so cool too, but I just want the sweatshirt. But the like I love like the vintage look of things. I think that that's really cool. And this sweatshirt is what, $105?
$105, yeah. The
Yeah.
hoodies are 135.
Yeah. Uh, it's pricey for sure. Definitely
Yeah.
pricey. But
But he also has a nail polish coming out. Like he has nail polishes, but then there's also a Fantasia nail polish that they don't have yet. That hasn't the shipment hasn't come in yet. And I think it's three different sets. And those sets of there's four nail polishes in there. Individually, the nail polishes are $18,
oh,
and then for the set, it was like $35 for
that's
the
not
four.
bad.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean the clothing is pricey, which but it makes sense. It looks like quality clothing for sure. So just
yeah,
from the pictures that I've seen, I haven't seen it in person yet, but that's exciting. I this kind of came out of nowhere. Like they announced it, I think, this week, and then all of a sudden, boom, there it was.
yeah,
Almost like it popped up.
yeah. And they almost, I was talking to the manager, and they had a lot of hard times with the hurricane and stuff like that too,
Yeah.
because they weren't sure if they were going to leave the exterior pop up, like the exterior like facade. They weren't sure if they could leave that up with the hurricane coming and all that other stuff.
Why wasn't Harry there?
What, Harry Styles? Because he's Harry Styles. What do you? What the heck?
I mean, so
You know who was at you know who was at Disney Springs tonight?
who?
Um, what's the people from Breaking Bad with their tequila?
Oh,
Aaron
I don't know
Paul
there.
and what's the name? Walter White. What's his
I don't
name?
know. I never watched
Brian
Breaking Bad.
Cranston.
Oh, okay. I never watched it.
They
I
were.
started to watch it. I feel like I would like that show, so I should go back and watch it. But
You should watch it, yeah.
yeah, I
But they were
heard
just
it's
like
good.
serving tequila in House of Blues tonight.
That's
Just
awesome.
like pouring shots for people.
That's really cool. I saw Tom Brady today, which was pretty exciting.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
He didn't wave though.
No, that's okay.
And I saw, do you know who Aaron Andrews is?
Hmm. AA, hold AA. Aaron Andrews.
No,
He sounds like
no, it's a
a.
female.
She sounds like. No, I don't know who this is. EA. Aaron Andrews.
Yeah. She's an announcer. She's a sports announcer.
Oh,
And
because you were at a football game.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, what the heck?
Tom Brady announced the Bucks game today because he's working for Fox now as an announcer, and he covered the game today, which was cool because it was like homecoming for him. He won a Super Bowl with the Buccaneers. It was exciting. They put him up on the big screen. Everybody cheered. And then we were walking out of the stadium to go meet up with a friend. And on our way, we were like walking past like the media exit for the stadium, and there was like a group of people there, and I was like, what's going on over here? And then I know where the media exit is because I've gone through that entrance before, and I was like, oh, media. I was like, guarantee Tom Brady's about to walk out of there. So I was like, boys, stand here for a second. So we stood behind this like gate, and there he went, just walked by, and I was like, Brady. And he was like in the zone. He was locked
He's
in
like,
to get to
that's
us.
not my name.
But then I was like, Aaron, and Aaron waved. So that was nice of her.
And Tom
Um,
Brady's like, why didn't you say my name? I would have waved back. My name's Tom.
I don't think he would have waved regardless of what I said.
Well, from what I
Um,
hear,
what do you hear?
all kinds of stuff from about Tom Brady.
Yeah, true. Um, but it's funny because it was so hot today that Aaron Andrews did an interview after the game with Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield is the Bucks quarterback. Um,
Ah, yes, old BM Baker Mayfield.
But anyway, she asked Baker, she was like asking him about the heat, like, how do you cope with that? And he was like, well, I changed my pants during halftime. He was like, that's how hot it was today. And she was like, she started laughing because it like caught that response, like caught her off guard. And she was like, I wish I could have changed my pants because it was
What
so
stopped her
hot.
from changing her pants?
I don't know. Maybe she didn't have extras. Didn't go with her
Jeez
top.
Louise.
But it was funny. It was a funny
Always
response.
bring the same pair of pants, just multiples.
Bring extra pants.
Yeah. That's a like words to live by. Bring extra pants.
Honestly, if you want some theme park like tips, bring pants.
No, bring shorts.
That's what I mean. Extra shorts for sure.
You know what's funny is in the UK, pants are your underwear. So this whole
Really?
time we're just like, I changed my pants.
He changed his underwear.
Yeah.
We don't. We mean undergarments for sure. Oh, that just reminded me of something sad. Another sad thing for sure that
Oh
happened this
no,
week.
about pants?
No, you said the UK, and my brain immediately went to Maggie Smith.
Oh yeah.
We lost a legend this week for sure. She was older, but it was sad. Professor McGonagall from the Harry Potter series, she was an icon, and she played that role so well. So, yeah, that was sad, but it's cool. Like they do moments at Universal anytime that like a beloved like member of the Harry Potter franchise passes away. They've started this tradition where a group of fans will go stand in front of Hogwarts and raise their wands to sort of like pay their respects to this person. And they did that on Friday. So pretty cool moment. But that's a little bit of theme park information for you if you ever wondered. But
Yeah.
um, so yeah, I on Tuesday went to the parks and went to go cover stuff for Hispanic and Latin American Heritage Month. Uh, and it was great. I mean, a lot of times when these months come around and they're like celebrating a specific type of heritage, a lot of times they'll highlight things that already exist. Like they'll pull menus from around the parks and they're like, these are some of the
Yeah,
food
they're
items
just
that you
like
can.
for Hispanic and Latin American Heritage Month, we have the Mexico booth at Food and Wine.
Yeah, yeah, and
And you're
it's
like,
like,
well, that was already there.
yeah, like tell me something different. And there are some different things happening right now. So over at Animal Kingdom, I really want to go try this. They have a burger that's supposed to be inspired or have influence of Cuban like sandwiches. So it's like a Cuban burger. Really want to go try that. And
That
there's
sounds so good.
yeah, it looks delicious. There's a lot of food at Disney Springs that you can check out for sure. The churro stand, Sunshine Churros, is that what
Hmm.
it's called? They
Yeah.
have a guava and cheese churro, which looks phenomenal. Um, and then um, I'm trying to think about some of the other things. So I had a dish that was at Art of Animation in their food court, and it's located at the All Star food courts as well, all three of them. And it's this dish that has chicken and olives and potatoes and like different veggies over rice with like an avocado and tomato like spread. It is so good. It tastes like a home cooked meal. I loved
What
it
was it
so
called?
much. I don't remember. I don't have the name of it, but they also have tres leches as well. Um, it was very good. It was delicious, and it's only here for the month. So the month will end on October 15th. Hispanic and Latin American Heritage Month. I can't talk. The month runs from September 15th to October 15th. Um, so give that a try if you get the opportunity to. But yeah, so I did that on Tuesday. Another thing that happened was, oh, it's called pollo guisado.
Okay.
It's really good, super tasty. It has braised chicken, carrots and olives, jasmine rice, sweet plantains, and fried garlic cilantro.
Where's it at?
The food court at Art
Oh,
of
this was
Animation.
the. Oh, I thought you were talking about the one from Animal Kingdom.
No, 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 no. I didn't go to Animal Kingdom, but I also went to Epcot and the mariachi band that performs in Epcot, they're performing like throughout the day. But Miguel is joining them right now for like a special moment. And it was really cool because that day it was so hot outside that they brought them indoors. So they were inside of the Mexico Pavilion. They were next to like
Ooh,
La Cava.
that sounds interesting.
It was really cool. The acoustics in there sounded fun. And like the inside of the Mexico Pavilion is supposed to replicate like I would say like a street corner in Mexico. You've got like open air market, it's nighttime, like um you've got different like pop-up
Vendors and
vendors. Yeah, like it's almost like a street market.
there's a
Um
restaurant.
yeah. And so it was cool listening to like the mariachi sing in the middle of like this like plaza area. But it was really special because at the end of their performance, they pulled out three cast members that were standing there watching the performance, and it was their last day of work. And they sang "Remember Me" to them. And then at the end of Remember Me is from the movie Coco. At the end of Remember Me, Miguel came out, and it was really emotional. Like the cast members were crying, they were really moved by it, and it was cool. It was a really special moment to see for sure. But that's a fun little note. If you're here between now and October 15th, you can catch Miguel performing with the mariachi band in Mexico. So,
Yeah.
um, but yeah, so fun times celebrating across Walt Disney World, and there's other ways to celebrate over at Disneyland as well. Luisa and Isabella from Encanto are meeting at Disneyland, where Mirabelle meets as well, which is like in Frontierland. It's right outside of what's the name of the restaurant over there, the Mexican
Golden
restaurant.
Horseshoe.
Yeah, right outside of Golden Horseshoe. But there's the
Right
Mexican
us.
restaurant.
Oh, Rancho del Zocalo.
Yes, right outside of that
Right
as
in front
well.
of Big Thunder Mountain.
Yep, yep. So you can catch them over there. Um, I'm trying to think of like what other experiences I had this week. I
What
had a
else
lot
did
of
you do?
I had a lot of football this week too, so that's not exciting for the podcast. I went to Miami Friday night. This was exhausting, but I drove to Miami Friday night to watch Miami play, and then the game got over. It was a very intense, very wild ending to the game. I wish that that would have been a game that you could have been in because you would have been like, I have no idea what's going on right now. Why is
Yeah.
everybody yelling and screaming? And why are people mad at each other? And what is going on? What is happening?
Yeah.
But
Who isn't it cut and dried? Like this team's winning, the other team's losing.
no, that was not the case because
They
so
were
the
both winning? Oh, I like
well,
this.
no. Miami was winning. Miami was losing most of the game. We came back at the end and scored with like less than 2 minutes left in the game. And so then we were winning at that point, and Virginia Tech needed to score a touchdown
Kick a
in
three
or
pointer.
no, no, they couldn't kick a 3-pointer. It wouldn't have been enough,
Oh,
which is a field goal, by the way.
well, call
um,
it a three pointer, right? Is it only three? Is it 2 points or 3 points?
a 3-pointer is like in basketball when you when you hit a three
Yeah. How
pointer.
many points is a field goal, though? Two?
Three, three,
Three?
yeah.
Oh, man. That was way off.
um, no, I mean you're close. But yeah, you said hit a 3-pointer. I mean, like that's the same as
I was
making.
just making fun of the basketball thing. I thought it was really just 2 points.
Well, it's not
I
way
thought it
off.
was a touchdown is 7 points, and then you get two more and you get nine,
No,
10.
no.
How many points is a touchdown? Six?
So, yeah,
Well, how do you get seven?
you kick the extra point.
Oh. So
That
wait,
is not the same as getting a field goal. It's just an extra
what is
point.
that? How is that not a field goal? It goes between the field goal
Well, it
posts.
technically is a field goal, but it's only for 1 point if it happens after a touchdown. But if they can't score a touchdown and they
They're
like,
on like 4 and 10. Those are
yeah,
numbers, right?
yeah, 4th and 10, yeah.
Yeah. And then he could the kicker guy could say, "Put me in, coach. I'm gonna kick this field goal and get us 3 points."
Yeah,
And then
exactly.
they would do it, and they'd forget to put the laces out, and it would curve a little bit to the right,
This is your
and
Ace
it would
Ventura
miss.
knowledge, like coming into play. Laces out.
Yeah, that's all that I know of is that the laces have to be facing a certain direction, and you can't pull it out of the way because Charlie Brown.
Charlie Brown,
Yeah,
the
when they're
dancing.
kicking this field goal, right?
Yeah,
Do they put it on a stand or like somebody hold it with their finger like
yeah.
Lucy?
Someone holds it, the
But when
placeholder.
did they just like drop kick it? Is that for a return?
That's a punt. Yeah.
Okay, and that's different.
And
You can't do a punt to do a field goal.
correct. You have to decide
Why
if
not?
you're it's just the rule.
Is it the rule or is it just like tradition?
No, like you cannot punt a field goal.
Hmm.
You have to line up to kick a field goal. It's like the formation that you're lining up in.
I want to see this rule. Who's in charge of this?
Just
I feel
look at
like a kicker should really throw him for a loop and punt a field goal.
well, but you have two different people. You have a kicker and a punter. They're two different jobs.
I think that the quarterback should kick a field goal.
No. Let the quarterback focus on his quarterbacking. That's plenty to focus on there. He's got an entire playbook to memorize.
Oh, nobody
Yeah.
else memorizes this playbook?
Oh yeah, well he like the all of the people on offense have to memorize the playbook.
So it's not that hard of a job.
But he's like controlling it. He's calling the plays, he's telling people when to motion, he's telling people like all
He
the
doesn't have
things.
a guy in his ear saying, "Call this play."
Well, sometimes the coach will tell him what play to call, yes.
Hmm.
Most of the time. But he
So
has
why
to
is
know
the
when the
quarterback
coach
so important?
because when the
Just because
coach
he can
says
throw the ball?
yeah, which is a big deal.
Yeah, but he doesn't. He's not like the team captain or anything like that.
Yeah, usually he is.
Somebody else could be in charge.
He's like a leader. Yeah, sure. Someone else could be too, but usually it's the quarterback.
I
But
want the wide receiver to be in charge.
I
He's
love
just always like, throw it to me.
I love our wide receivers. What our the Bucks have a pretty strong group of wide receivers. One in particular, he's the leader on the team. His name's Mike
I thought we were talking
Evans.
about Miami this whole time.
Well, Miami, we can go back to them. But so, anyways, we were winning at the with less than 2 minutes to go. Virginia Tech had the ball. They had to go score a touchdown. They couldn't kick a field goal
What's
because that
their mascot?
they're like a turkey. Well, I don't
Virginia
remember.
Tech is a turkey.
Yeah.
Why? So is that were you guys just making fun of them saying it was a turkey, or were
No,
they
no,
making
no.
fun of you?
No, they're legit. That like I don't know. They're Hokies. The Hokies?
Hokies?
Yeah. Is a Hokie a turkey?
No, I don't think so. I think a Hokie is a person. What
What? Virginia? I think. I mean, I know for sure it's a turkey. Virginia Tech. Yeah, the Hokies.
the Hokies? And the mascot is a turkey.
Yeah. What is a
And a
Hokie?
Hokie is a turkey?
I don't know. I'm looking it up.
What's a Hokie?
Hokie is a loyal fan of Virginia Tech and the nickname for the school's athletic program.
There you go. See?
This
They're just some Hokies from Virginia.
the term originated from a cheer used in 1896 that included the word Hokie. The school's mascot is the Hokie bird, a large turkey-like bird that is
Oh, it's a
often,
made up bird.
I guess, but it's a turkey.
Does it have a name?
I'm going to show you a
What
picture
was
of it.
yours? His name? Sebastian?
Sebastian, yeah. No, like it's a turkey.
What is that?
It's the
Where
turkey.
where is this turkey?
He's just vibing as a
Oh, there he's moving around. Oh
turkey.
yeah, he looks a little bit different than a turkey though. I can see that. All right. Well,
For
this is
anybody that's just listening, I
from
was showing
1898.
to 1896. Anyways, it's
1896.
really annoying because when you play at Virginia Tech, like when Miami plays there, you
They go.
anytime yeah, yeah, anytime that something good happens, they have this like gobble that happens in the stadium.
That's pretty great.
No, it's awful.
Do you guys have like a thing that I like because you guys are the ibises, right? Do you guys poop everywhere? Is that what happens when you
No,
guys score a touchdown?
No, when we scored touchdown, Sebastian will go to the middle of the field and he gets the crowd to everyone like gets excited and they're all going, "Oh," and he like keeps that going for a while and then we spell out Canes, Canes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Canes. Okay.
Anyways, it all came down to 3 seconds left on the clock. Virginia Tech had one chance to score a touchdown. The quarterback threw the ball up in the air into the end zone. There was like a group of players all there, and it was like a fight for the ball. And at first, the refs ruled it a touchdown, which means that Virginia Tech would have won and Miami would have lost. But they had to like send it to review. And so they're all like everyone's standing there. The stadium's on pins and needles, watching the head ref review the play. And then he comes back and he says, the call on the field has been reversed. It's no good. Miami wins. And it just went erupted. But it was very
Hmm.
controversial because people don't think that this is really getting into football
I'm
rules right
excited.
now.
Did the ball touch the ground first?
It
So
never
his knee
touched
touched the
it never
ground.
touched the ground, but he didn't have full possession of the ball. And then the Miami player ripped the ball away and he ended up with it. Um, but the ref couldn't see that and only saw that the Virginia Tech player had like initially like
Touched
made
it.
contact with the ball. So he ruled it a touchdown, which he should have never ruled it a touchdown to begin with, because as soon as you rule something on the field, when they go to review it, there has to be enough video evidence to overturn that call. And so a lot of people debated as to whether there was enough video evidence for that call to be overturned or not. And a lot of people are saying there wasn't, so it should have stayed a touchdown, which means Virginia Tech should have won, and Miami is undefeated, and so it would have ruined their undefeated season so far.
Hmm. Okay. Well,
Anyways,
there you go.
it was wild because like people were yelling, people were angry, people were mad, like there everyone was just like waiting to find out what was going to happen. And then when we won, Miami fans were they're
They
going
were
wild.
fine after that.
Oh yeah.
Nothing happened.
No, I mean
Nobody got punched.
there were some players going at it for sure.
Oh,
For
geez.
sure. Yeah. Virginia
The
Tech
heck?
versus Miami. Yeah.
Did they ever think that maybe they should just like talk about it instead of like hitting each other or like ramming into each other?
Oh, I mean, I'm sure probably, but probably not the place and time for that.
Just checking.
Hey guys, can we talk about this?
Yeah, why are we running into each other so much?
What are you feeling right now? As much as I would respect and appreciate that, I don't think it's the scenario for
And
it.
they're like, we should just play flag football. Seems nicer.
Flag football is exciting. Luke had a flag football game on Saturday, and he caught a pass and ran it for a touchdown, but it got called back because the quarterback, his flag had been pulled before he got rid of the ball.
Oh no.
Yeah, it was
It's
sad.
like Miami, Virginia Tech all over again.
I really need to take you to a Miami game.
No, you don't.
Yeah, it'd be so fun. I
I
just
don't think
would.
you want me there.
I would. Yeah, it would be fun. I mean, you would make fun of it.
I would
You
be
would make fun
asking
of it.
so many questions, and you'd be
That's
like, "Shut up!
fine.
I'm just trying to watch
No,
this
no,
game."
no, no, no. It can't be like I would never take you to like Miami, Florida State because you would be like everybody needs to calm down.
Yeah,
Like,
you guys. Why are you guys so angry?
yeah, because that game is intense because those two teams hate each other for sure, and
Why
the
do they
fan
hate each other?
rivalry. It's like a rivalry.
Okay,
We've played
it's
each
a
other
healthy
every year.
rivalry.
No, it's not healthy.
It's an unhealthy rivalry,
Yeah, very much
all
so.
because of a football.
Yeah, and the fan bases like they are mad at each other. Just walking into that stadium, they're already mad at each other.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Mad at people you don't know just
Yeah,
because
because
they
they're
like
wearing
another
yeah.
football team.
It's bad, but I will ashamedly admit that I have been a part of this. So,
The heck?
yeah. It's like team loyalty, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when I see another Miami fan, immediately I'm like, they're a good person.
And if you see a FSU fan, you're like, "Ooh,
I'm like,
terrible person,
questionable. But
questionable."
Francie loves the Knowles. That's her favorite team. So
There you go. See, you
yeah,
married it.
we wrote into our vows on our wedding day. we didn't know, we wrote our own vows and we didn't talk about our vows until we were standing at the altar. And both of us wrote into our wedding vows that we promised to love each other when mine was when Miami beats Florida State and Francie's was when Florida State beats Miami.
Wow.
Dedication,
That's
let me
nice
tell you.
though. That is nice.
I mean, it's cool because like we both have the same amount of passion for our teams. So we understand it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's real. It's real life. It's passion.
Yeah. Some
Anyway,
football.
I went to the game. After the game was over, it ended. I got into the car at midnight because Francie's birthday was on Saturday. I got into the car at midnight and I called Francie and I was like, "Happy birthday." And she's like, "Thank you." And I was like, "We just got back to the car." She had been watching the game, so she was watching all of the chaos unfold. And I was like on cloud nine. I didn't have a voice. I'm still struggling in the voice department. And she was like, "Okay, we'll be safe." And I was like, "Okay, I'll call you when we're like on the road because it feels like we're gonna sit in this parking lot for a bit." We didn't leave the parking lot until 12:45 in the morning.
Jeez.
And
And
I
you still
wanted
had a 3 hour drive ahead of you? 4 hour?
3.5 hour. And I had to take my friend home and he lives near Champions Gate. So I had to go to Champions Gate and then
You
go
had to
back to
drive to
Lakeland.
Orlando first?
Yeah. I passed like not far from you.
What in the world?
Yeah. So anyways, we drove to so anyways we got out of the parking lot at 12:45 and then I wanted Taco Bell as one does in 1 o'clock in the morning, you know. So we went through the Taco Bell drive through and then drove from Taco Bell to my friend's house and I dropped him off. I got home at 4:45
That's
and then
terrible.
it was awful. And then Luke had a flag football game the next morning and I had to be up at 8:45 to get ready for the flag football game. So
Hmm. I've been
I
there
did it
before.
I did it to myself. It was my own inflicted punishment and pain,
Yeah,
but
I think here's the thing. You say that you want to take me to a football game, but I feel like somewhere around like the middle of the fourth quarter, I'd be like, we should we should get out of here if we want to like leave at a good time.
it depends on if we're going to. No, you can't do that. You can't just be like. It depends on the game. If we're winning by a lot, then I'd be okay with that. But if it's a close game and if you look at me and you're like, "Can we go?" I'm gonna be like, "You can go. I'm
Then I'll
staying
just
right
take your car home.
here." I don't think that if we went to a game, I don't know how much I'd want to do like the there and back with you in the same day because it's exhausting.
Yeah, no, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I can't believe you drive down. There is nothing that I could, because you go like once a week or something like that, right?
No, I mean, I have season tickets.
You've been twice
Yeah, in September I went
since
twice.
like these past two podcasts. We've had stories about you driving to Miami.
I won't go back again until the end of October for the Florida State game.
There is nothing that is out there that I'm like, let's drive 3.5 hours to
There is though.
a
Like if
cruise. I would go to a cruise in Fort Lauderdale, but that's like a vacation. Like you're going for a thing. You're not going for like a 2 hour show or whatever.
you wouldn't go down for like a concert, yeah, you
No.
would.
What?
Yeah.
Who? What concert am I going to see? The Beatles?
Someone
The
gives you
Beatles were resurrected?
someone gives you free tickets to go see Harry Styles in Fort Lauderdale. You're gonna drive down there to go.
Hmm.
Yeah, you would. Jen would. Jen'd be like, get in the car.
No, I don't know. Well, if we were staying overnight, I wouldn't drive there and back in the same day like you just told me you did twice. That's what I'm saying. There's
No,
nothing that I would
Luke and
be
I
like,
the first time Luke and I stayed the night in Miami.
oh, okay.
Yeah, and normally I would stay the night in Miami, but I wanted to get back home to be here for Francie's birthday. I didn't want to drive that in the morning and be late, and I wanted to go to Luke's game. So
Jeez.
the sacrifice that I paid to be able to, and I didn't have to pay that sacrifice. Again, self-inflicted. I didn't have to go to the game, but I wanted to, and I'm glad that I did because it was a great game and Miami won. And then because Miami won, I was like all jazzed up. I was like, yeah. And so I
For
was
at
like,
least 1 hour.
yeah.
And half of that hour was taken up by waiting in the drive-through for Taco Bell.
No, waiting in the parking lot to get out of the parking lot. Um, but it was fun. It was a fun time. And then Saturday was great. We got to celebrate Francie. We got to do the things that she wanted to do. I made boiled peanuts. Do you like boiled
Oh,
peanuts?
Jen loves boiled peanuts.
So does Francie. She loves them. She grew up eating them all the time. We have a bunch, so I'll bring some
Oh
to you
yeah.
guys
Heck yeah.
for real. But yeah, we made boiled peanuts and then we went out to eat and she loves fried pickles, so that had to be on the agenda for the day as well.
Where'd you eat at?
Walk-ons. We've been there together,
Yeah, we went there
actually.
together.
Yeah, it's
Fried
pretty
pickle
good.
heaven.
Yeah, it's a pretty good spot. And we just watched a lot of football that day. Luke had a game, and we had friends come over, and we played a really fun new game called Priorities. It was a great time. You have to like there's like five cards that get turned over, and there's like five, I don't want to say categories, like specific things from different categories. They could be anything. It could be like Buzz Lightyear and Mine Train. And I'm doing this in like a Disney theme park perspective, but like Dole Whip. And you have to like, I, if I flip over the five cards, I personally rank them from one to five, like one being the thing that I like most, and five being the thing that I like least. And then the rest of the group tries to figure out what my ranking's going to be. So we're working together to get points. And the way that you get points is if you get cards, like if you guys guess where my rankings fell appropriately, then on the back of the cards, there's different letters that spell out the word priorities. And we get to like keep those letters as we're working to spell out the word priorities. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So
Well, that's exciting. That sounds like fun.
it's fun. It's a good time. We should all play together.
Yeah. I
It's
love
a
games like that.
I love it
Board
because
games and card games and stuff.
me too. And I love when you get to like, it's a get to know other people type of game as well. Like it's fun. We played with friends that like they're very close friends of ours. Like we know each other all really well. So we were like, we were crushing this game. It was like pretty easy to be like, oh, you're gonna pick this, 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 and this, which was fun. But it would also be fun to play with people that like it's like a learning experience, like a get to know you type game, you know?
Right.
And
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
fun, and it's fun too because you're working together. So it's not like there's not a competitive edge in terms of being like, seriously, why did you put that? You know, like
What are you
everybody.
thinking?
Yeah. So, yeah, it's a good time. But other than that, as far as theme park experiences go, I did not have a ton this week. I was a busy guy, had a lot going on. So,
Yeah. We
um,
went on Saturday to Disney Springs and then Thursday to Magic Kingdom and
Magic Kingdom.
Animal Kingdom.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it.
I feel like you guys did something else. Last week we talked about you going to go check out the Oz thing.
Oh yeah,
Osmopolitan?
the Osmopolitan. That was fun too.
Yeah.
We ate at Nami beforehand, which is their that's like a Japanese European fusion type thing.
Uh-huh.
It's the best meal that I've had all year.
Why?
It was so good. They just like had it was such a unique thing. They had this the best chicken nuggets I've ever had,
Oh,
like
that's
fancy
exciting.
chicken nuggets. They
That's
had
pretty good.
bacon, which was like imagine pork belly, like fried pork belly, but it was bacon.
Oh,
It was
wow.
like a
Like
little bit
thick.
pork belly is fattier than bacon is.
Yeah.
And so just the bacon was like and it was on a skewer and it just had it was so good.
That sounds delicious.
Yeah, it was really
Cool.
good.
That's awesome. Well, any high dad soup moment of the week for you?
Yeah, it's kind of embarrassing, but
Oh.
not really that embarrassing. So it's actually kind of more impressive than embarrassing. It's uh so one time I played Hot to Go for Jackson, like it was playing and he heard it. And
Okay.
ever since then, he picked it up right away and he's been singing it.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other day he was singing it, but he doesn't say like "You can take me hot to go." He just says like "HOTTOGO, HOTT hot to go." And so he's singing. That's what he was singing, and then out of nowhere, Oliver started singing it. Oliver has never heard the song; he's just heard Jackson singing it,
I love
and
it.
so now they're both in the back of the car, just like yelling it at
Oh,
top of their lungs.
I wonder if this is like a thing. People have to let us know. I wonder if this is like a thing that parents are going through with this song because my boys sing that song on a regular basis. They picked it up from the Target commercial, and it has like
Oh,
Target is doing like a thing for pets right now, and the commercial plays the song with like dogs and cats, and our boys have heard that several times, and they love it. They just sing it. And Francie made the comment where she was like, which by the way, I mentioned we celebrated Francie's birthday. Happy birthday, Francie. Love you.
happy birthday, Francie!
But she made the comment of like, every time I hear this song, it gets stuck in my head. And the boys thought that was like, yes. Like, so now
Right?
they'll
That's what
intentionally
you
like,
get.
yeah, now they'll intentionally be like, hey, mommy, HOTT. She's like, ugh.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that happened was so Jackson and Oliver have these little pianos that are 8 keys. And Jackson has been, I don't know what it is about the song from the video game Luigi's Mansion. He's never played Luigi's Mansion, but the song from the video game is like his favorite song in the world. Like he could listen to it on repeat for the rest of eternity and he'll
I,
be happy.
I love it.
But you can't play it on the piano if you only have 8 keys
Mm,
because it's at that octave moment, right? So it's like it starts at E, goes down to C, and then ends up at B. And the B is like down below where the keyboard would go. And so I found on Amazon, I found like a $14 keyboard. It's like a little tiny thing like this, but it's got like 30 some odd
everything.
keys,
That's
like
cool.
40 some odd keys. And like, so he is finally able to play the song, but like I show it to him, but then he doesn't quite get it. But then he picked it up by ear after like a few times of just like messing around because he couldn't remember what I had showed him. So he was just kind of like playing it the first like few notes and then he would like try to figure out what the last one was by like pushing a different key in the sequence. And then he finally figured it out and then he's like slowly progressing like through the song by ear,
Wow.
which
That's
is really
awesome.
fun
Yeah, that's
because
awesome.
he's like a little 4-year old playing
Has he
piano.
taken piano lessons before?
No.
Oh, I feel like he should do that.
Yeah, he wants to. It's just
Yeah.
like for whatever reason a lot of places, no, four is like pretty common for piano, but I haven't figured out the timing of it for like when he would go and take piano lessons.
Yeah.
So we're
And a
working
lot
on
of
that.
places do wait like until they're a little bit older, which 4 or 5 I feel like is pretty common for the
Yeah.
start of it. Yeah.
6 is where he can start playing drums.
That's awesome. Very cool.
Yeah,
Gonna be a little band guy.
I hope so. And then Oliver's just been singing. Like he'll
Oh,
sing anything.
well, both of them together, they could be a band.
Yeah, they
I'd
sing
offer
together.
I'd offer my kids talents. Ethan, I'm not quite sure. I haven't seen like a lot of his like musical abilities yet. Luke, I don't know. Luke could be the biggest hype man for them for sure.
Right.
His parents do not.
Luke is a drawer, right?
Yeah, there you go. He'll
He's
design
an
all their
artist.
graphics. Yeah.
Ethan is a dress up guy.
Yeah, he'll design the costumes for him.
Yeah,
Good to go.
there you go.
They're all going to work together. Um, that's awesome. Very cool. I love that. I love when we get to like see our kids' passions like start to develop for sure.
Yeah.
Um, for me, um, I just had it in my brain. Now it's
Oh no.
gone.
I'm sorry.
This is what happens past 11 p.m. Um, shoot. Oh, I was thinking about this earlier today. My boys are entering into and it was cool because Francie's birthday happened and like they now have strong opinions on what they want to get mommy for her birthday. So like they told me what I needed to go to Target to pick up and I went and got it for them to give to her. Um, but along with that, and this is just like a thing that I experience every day, there's such a sense of like independence that they're developing now. And I feel like I'm having a little bit of an identity crisis as a parent.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. Because when your kids are toddlers and they're really little, they need you for everything. Like
Right.
everything. Like everything that they do, not everything that they do, but for the most things that they do, they need help doing those things. Not so much now with my boys. Like even the little things, like they want more food, they can go and serve it to themselves. Like there's so many things that like they are capable of doing on their own, which is fantastic and a normal part of growing up. But like as a parent, I'm exiting this stage of like they need me for everything, but I'm not quite to the stage of like preteen into the teenage years where they like that independence is so far where they're just kind of looking at you like, I don't really want to spend a lot of my time with you. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, and so it's a weird thing. Like I was thinking about it today and I was just kind of like, I wonder if any other parents can relate to this where like your kids enter, like they get past 5 and especially Luke being 8 years old. He's not a preteen, so he doesn't have like the hormones racing through his body quite yet, but he also is just like super independent with a lot of things. And it's just like the things that he needs me for right now is that like character development, which is what we've been working on since day one for sure. But like now, so like you start to see like, oh, this is the human being that you're starting to like shape you're into, you know?
Right.
Um, and this is like the person that you're going to be as you like get to a place where you're contributing to society, you know. And so it's interesting to see those things start to formulate, and I know that he still needs me in that regard, but I don't know, it's a weird thing when your kid starts to develop like an independence, because it's just like, um what is my role now? You know,
Right.
like, and I know that I have one obviously, and I know that there are so many things that I do for my kid, and I feel like this is just going to continue to develop as my kids get older, where I'm really like, you know, when they're in high school and they're driving, what do I
Huh.
do now? You know, like,
That's
but
scary.
it is scary. But like, someone made a comment to us the other day where they were like, I had such a hard time where when my kid turned 9, I realized that like I was, not that we're ever completely done parenting, because my parents are still my parents and I still go to them and I'm like, hey, how do I do this? You know, but like,
Right.
18 is when your kid like spreads their wings, generally speaking, and goes to college, or maybe seeks a profession, or maybe, like generally like they start to like seek their independence at that point.
Right.
So when your kid turned 9 years old, you're halfway there.
Oh yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Luke will be 9 next year, like,
That's scary.
yeah, it's terrifying. So anyways, and this 9 years, like, we're working towards year 9, but like they have flown by. Like I still feel like, what happened to baby Luke? Like, where did he go?
Right.
So anyways, just a little identity moment for sure. But anyways, I know that you don't personally relate to that yet, but when
I'm sure that's
when
coming.
Jackson turns 8, like, we need to revisit and have this conversation, which is terrifying because when Jackson turns 8, Luke will be 12.
Right.
I don't like
I was
that.
gonna say 16. I was like, man, let's
Stop. Don't do that to
be
me.
21.
Luke will be 16 and Jackson will be 12. Luke will be like, well, Luke's not going to be allowed to drive people in the car when he's 16. He doesn't know that yet, but that's going to
Why
be a
not?
rule. I mean, eventually. We'll have to like see how it's going. I wasn't
Well,
allowed to. When I
I
turned
was driving
16,
people when I was 15.
different time in the 80s.
In the 80s. Like I was 15 in the 80s.
In the 90s, true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, but no, 16, my parents, that was a rule they had. They were like, you're not allowed to drive anybody until we've got like some solid driving experience under your belt.
Yeah.
It'll probably be the same for Luke for a while, just to make sure he's good at this thing.
I feel like my parents were like, you're 15 now? You're driving down I-4.
I
Have
mean, I
fun.
drove, I drove, well, did that change? Like, did you have to get your like learner's permit and
Yeah.
someone had to drive with you?
Hmm.
Yeah. When I was
But my
15,
parents, I think, were like waiting. I mean, my brother was already driving, but like, I feel like they were waiting for the last kid to be able to like
yeah.
drive them where they needed to go.
I mean, my parents were very excited when I turned 16 because that meant I could drive myself to school and my brother with me. And so they didn't have to drive me to school anymore. And my school was like 30 minutes from my house.
Oh,
So,
geez.
yeah. So, and there will be nice things. Like one day, the idea of like being like, oh man, we don't have milk, and looking at Luke and be like, hey, go to the store and get milk for us. Like, that is nice. I like that thought for sure. But, or
Right.
he's at like practice and I'm like, hey, on your way home from practice, pick this up. I'm all about that life. But it's also sad. So
Yeah.
it's a ways away, but it doesn't feel like that far away. Whereas when Luke was little, it was like, yeah, can't even fathom those moments. So, anyways, that's my soapbox for this week. News. I'm just gonna roll through a couple things real fast.
I forgot about news.
We'll make this snappy. Um, Star-Lord is meeting at Epcot. He's meeting in front of Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. He has done this before for like special events and stuff like that, but this is
Yeah.
like a regular meet and greet that's back. I don't have the hours. I would check the My Disney Experience app for
He's back. He visited Epcot when he was a kid.
that.
Now he's an adult and he's back. Probably ask him some questions about what his favorite rides were.
Yeah, I think that'd be cool. He probably is prepared to answer those questions.
I hope so.
Jollywood Nights, we're getting more and more info about that. The gift this year, instead of coasters like they were last year, they're giving out, do you know what they are?
No.
Marshmallows.
What?
They're giving out a box of champagne flavored marshmallows.
Hmm, okay.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Are they Wonder Made?
I don't know what brand they are.
Hmm.
They're in a box that you'll appreciate. They come in a box that say Jollywood Nights on it, but they have Kermit and Miss Piggy on them.
That's nice, but like
I know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how we went from like something tangible in a coaster to a
a little
marshmallow.
snack,
There's like
little
six
treat.
six of
Just
them.
imagine, just think about it right now. The amount of sweet candy items that they give out at Not So Scary,
Yeah.
and the amount of cookies they give out at Very Merry, and then you go to Jollywood Nights and they're like, "Here's 6 marshmallows. Please enjoy.
I agree. I don't understand it, but you know, that's what it
Here's
is.
6 tablespoons of sugar. Please enjoy. Take a sugar packet."
I'm mostly concerned like if I get my marshmallows, first of all, I'm gonna have to eat them, obviously. But like, are they gonna be stale?
Right?
If they're stale marshmallows, I'm ticked.
Are they making them fresh before each Jollywood night?
I doubt it. I bet they're prepackaged.
They're already made right now,
Probably so. Vacuum sealed.
right? This is all right. Well, there you go.
Yeah, interesting. But they did release the food menus, and one thing that I'm very happy and excited to report, the meatball is back, baby.
Oh yeah, the meatball. That
Yeah,
was a good one.
remember I told you that you had to go and try that the second time and you did and you loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was something else that they had. It was like a donut, like a peanut butter and jelly donut, but it
I
was like
think that's
a
back.
peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
I think
No, I
that's
know
back.
that that's there this year. I don't remember that
Oh.
happening last year, but
Oh. Yeah, yeah,
it
yeah.
might be a new item,
I also didn't get a Gertie cookie last year, and I'm excited to get one of those.
oh, there we go. I mean, it was just a cookie.
Yeah. But it's Gertie being a cookie. That's it
Yeah.
for me. Yeah. So
There
that's
was something
exciting.
else that looked really good.
Yeah, the
I
food menu
can't
looks
remember.
does look pretty tasty, and that's one of the draws of Jollywood Nights. Some of the creative food that they come up with. So stay tuned. We will both be going to Jollywood Nights. I'll be working, so it'll be complicated, but we'll both report back on how all of that goes. And it's wild, but that's about a month away. So stay
Oh
tuned.
yeah, I'm excited.
Me too. Pecos Bill got an updated menu. I mentioned this. I don't remember if it was last week or the week before. But the menu is very tasty. A lot of people are upset that tacos aren't there anymore, and I understand that. But the bowls are good. You can get them with no beans, which is exciting for me because I can't have them. You get to choose between 3 different types of meat. One is a pork. I also can't really eat pork because it messes up my stomach. I eat it sometimes, but for the most part, I try to avoid it. Um, so I didn't get that, but the chicken was tasty and the brisket was very delicious. It was like a barbecue brisket and it had like a cherry cola flavor to it. I think that's what it was.
Yeah, the
Um,
cherry coke.
yeah. And then they have a tamale, which was very tasty as well. I'm trying to think if there was anything else that I had from there. No, just the two. I had a bowl and then the tamale. So no, there was a dessert. Corn. Yeah.
Corn. It's corn.
Yeah. It was a sweet corn. And it was like it looks just like an ear of corn, but it is a mousse.
Oh, that's fun.
And then it has like it looks like Mexican street corn. So the top of it has like instead of like shredded cheese or queso, it has a shredded coconut. And then it has like instead of the, I don't know, oh, I don't know if you'll be able to see this.
Oh yeah, look, there it is.
There's like a red on top of the corn, and I that would be like a certain type of seasoning. I don't know what it would be specifically. Um, but this is raspberry, which I don't know if I loved that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the combo of raspberry with corn was interesting because it does taste like sweet corn, like the actual mousse. Uh, yeah, so that's Pecos. Go try their new menu.
I got to do that. I still haven't tried it yet.
And that's all that I really have. Universal, there's no like major news that we got this week. Um,
Did we ever talk about the Wicked thing that's coming?
we did. We talked about the
Yeah.
pop-up that'll be here soon. I think Universal, like the next, we'll get information about the holidays coming soon for Universal, which usually starts after Thanksgiving. But the big question that everybody has for Universal is when is Epic opening? And I feel like that day, we'll have it an opening day by the end of this year, obviously.
Right.
So stay
I'm
tuned.
excited.
Me too.
Excited to see it.
Me too. But that's all that I have. Anything
Yeah.
else?
No, I gotta go. I gotta go to the
Yeah.
bathroom.
I have to go upload this episode so that you all can listen to this in a few hours. So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
thank you all so much for tracking with us. We'll see you next week.
Yeah. Bye, everybody.
Bye.